Hi, my name is Zai, and this is how I play Quake Live. I need a great mouse to keep up with the fast, accurate style, so I'm testing mice to see which one is best. But there are some key things to remember when looking at mice. There's no such thing as perfect, and we all want different things. The idea is to find the one that's most suitable to you. This is the Logitech G900, a mouse with so many extra features. It's probably the most interesting all-rounder I've ever seen. And it's a wireless gaming mouse that can actually be used for gaming, even first-person shooters. The claim is that it can compete with some wired mice. How good is it though? Well, really good. I'm impressed. But as I just said, nothing is perfect. So I'm going to point out the good and the bad. The price will be a deal breaker for a lot of people, going for $150 on Amazon at the moment. Speaking of Amazon, I want to say thank you to everyone using the Amazon affiliate links in the descriptions of my videos. We ran a vote for followers on Twitter, and the G900 was chosen to be reviewed. So thanks to everyone who voted too. Anyway, for those who have the money, it's definitely worth considering. At a glance, it's an ambidextrous mouse with a 3366 optical sensor, weighing about 107 grams, and according to the Logitech site, it uses a mechanical pivot design on the buttons. Those are the four most important factors to a mouse: shape, sensor, weight, and buttons. But how you prioritize those depends on the games you play. So is it right for you? We'll start with the four main points before getting into the extra details that may influence your decision. First, the shape. It's important to know your hand size and grip style for this. My hand is about 18 centimeters base to tip, and about 9 centimeters across from the thumb to the knuckle of the little finger. This would be considered a medium to large mouse compared to the others. The buttons have a very gradual slope, but no comfort grooves, and the hump is barely there, making it suitable for all grip styles. It's about 3.8 centimeters high, and between the thumb and fingers, it's 5.5 centimeters wide. That's the grip width. From the edges of the mouse feet, meaning the parts that are touching the pad, it's just under 11 centimeters. This puts it close to an overall 2:1 ratio, which usually seems best for precision aiming. The back is 6.5 centimeters, giving your palm something to hold onto, and the front is 5.3 centimeters. A narrower front is something I've found to be quite comfortable on this and other designs. A safe shape is one that allows for multiple grip styles and hand sizes, one that doesn't force your fingers to go somewhere. This is a complicated design on first look, but if you break it down, it actually is a very safe shape. Despite all the angles and curves, look at the sides where your thumb and fingers rest. Notice how flat it is? There's just a slight curve, going from wider at the back to narrow at the front. And then there is just enough vertical ledge to make it easy to pick up, without making it uncomfortable for the fingers to get over. I really like this design because even if they use slippery materials, we could still pick it up. But they didn't use slippery materials. They feel like textured plastic, so they should be durable. But I think there might be a slight rubber coat on them because they feel soft too. It's an interesting mix of textures and materials. From memory, probably similar to the G402, but better. Overall, people with hands 16 to 20 centimeters could find it comfortable, but remember, this is a rough guide. For palm grip, I would say 16 to 19 centimeters, claw grip 17 to 19.5, and fingertip 17 to 20.5. Here it is compared with a few popular mice to help you understand the size. I think they've taken some inspiration from the G402 and made it ambidextrous, which could be a good thing. How it feels overall? I think it feels like I'm holding a giant ant. The sides feel perfect, but the top being so high will take some time getting used to. I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. Leaning more toward love though. It's good, but I have a feeling if they followed this line just underneath, it may have been a bit better. Don't quote me on that though, because that might upset the grip styles. The gap between the back and the buttons is a bit weird for a full palm grip, but if you arc your fingers a little, obviously you won't know it's there. It's 107 grams, but it feels a little weighted toward the back, but it's not enough to cause an issue for me. And credit to Logitech for doing such an amazing job keeping this so light. Unfortunately for those who like heavier mice, there is no option to add extra weight. Moving on to the buttons, here is a listen to the clicks. The left and right buttons use a mechanical pivot design. They have plenty of tactile feedback and feel very crisp, great for all game types, and based on what I've been told, I think they'll be good for jitter clicking too. One thing I will point out, if you have moisture on your fingers, the buttons can be lifted up, like this. Not a big issue, but it can cause them to rattle a little after clicks. Mouse 3 is fairly hard to press in, and when using it, I find I accidentally activate the horizontal scroll sometimes. The scroll has a lot of tactile feedback and should be good for weapon changes and jumps, and it has freewheel mode for scrolling, which I have to admit is great just to use for the fun of it. Horizontal scrolling is a welcome feature and I use it to play next or previous track, so I easily change songs while I'm working or playing games. Next to the side buttons, I only showed you the left, but you can choose to have them on the right too. This is a modular mouse, allowing you to have 1, 2 or none on either side, and they're held in by magnets. I did a test earlier and I found I could have a button on the back right, and that'd give me a comfortable extra button with no accidental clicks. The problem is that they didn't include a block for the front if you do just have the one in, so it's a bit uncomfortable without that. I think this would be a great feature to include. If they just split the block into 2, it would be perfect. As for feel, they have good tactile feedback, quite crisp, easy to press in, and a good amount of travel. There are 2 DPI buttons located in the middle, probably impossible to click accidentally because of the gap and how small they are, and they have good tactile feedback too. The design seems to work quite well. There is also an off and on switch on the base, and a profile switch too. Speed-wise, I can achieve the usual 72 clicks in 10 seconds, and compared with the DM1 Pro, I get a similar score in the human click test, an average of 200 milliseconds. These tests are not accurate, they're just general indications, and so far, wireless has not been a problem. Overall, a great performance, very good buttons, love the extras, and they should be great in a lot of games, maybe even MMORPGs, considering how many there are. Just quickly, to get the attention of the big companies, I need a much bigger channel. So if you want more reviews like this, please hit that subscribe button and share this video. It's greatly appreciated, thank you. Now let's talk about the 3366 sensor, regarded by many as the best sensor available. There's a lot of sensor testing going on out there, by sensor experts and machines. I'm going to give you the human testing, so you know how the sensor performs in-game for human hands by someone who's played a very long time. I use Quake Live because I am most familiar with it, and because it's very demanding on mice, what works in Quake should work in CSGO, and also other first-person shooters. After playing Quakes for over 17 years, I can usually figure out if a mouse is a problem, or if it's just something in the game. Starting off with some rocket jumping, this is a very simple test but a good indication of how the mouse performs in general. Fast flicks, fairly accurate, and this mouse is performing very well. And moving it across the pad as fast as I can, just checking if I can make it spin out, and of course, I can't. In the sniper test I zoom right in to FOV1 and start with pixel by pixel movements at 400 DPI. Now speeding up a bit, and that's a great performance. You should notice as I increase the DPI, it will look smoother. So at 800 DPI, also great. Now at 1600, great. And 3200, again, great. So with these 2 tests, we've determined that it should be good for high sensitivity players and low sensitivity players. Testing for acceleration and deceleration, I'm going to move the mouse across the pad very quickly, then track back slowly. And this mouse has returned to the position, no accel or deceleration there. That wasn't accurate, and that's because it's very hard to do that test accurately. As long as it's close enough, I'm usually happy with it. The liftoff distance is tested with DVDs, which are about 1.4mm thick. First trying on top of one, and we see no movement. That's extremely low, under 1.4mm. At the moment I can't find an option to change that though. There is no easy way to test delay between movement of the mouse and on screen. But going by feel, this seems to have a very slight delay. Considering it's wireless, it's amazing. I'm even second guessing myself. But after playing for hours and then switching mice, I think I could feel it a little. Maybe. I tried to test it with 120 frames per second video, but it didn't show any delay. I need a camera that can do 1000 frames per second. And because I can't say for sure, I think we have to go with Logitech and say yes, it can compete with wired mice. Amazing tech, well done to everyone involved at Logitech, this is really impressive. In the line test, keeping window sensitivity in the middle, We see the expected increase in movement with higher DPI, but no jitter, and there's no angle snapping and no skipping. The liftoff movement is quite random, which is expected, and there is no sensor rattle that I can find. This is a great performance as usual from a 3366. As for wireless range, here's a test at 3 meters away. Looks pretty good. Now here's a test at 6 meters away. That's outside through a door and a wall. And now here's a test from even further away. Not perfect, but I doubt range is going to be an issue. My wireless router is about 5 meters away, plenty of mobile phones around, and there has been no interference as far as I can tell. Testing build quality, and tapping it on the desk, it rattles a little, and if you shake it, you can hear something rattling too. One of the things rattling would be the scroll, which we can forgive, as I'd say that's because it's too hard to design a free wheel that doesn't rattle. The other rattles, well, the good news is that most of them disappear when I put my fingers over the buttons and the scroll. But there is some little rattle in there that I'm not sure what it is. It might be the lens or something like that. It reminds me a bit of the G303, which is a slight worry. A closer look at the materials, the top is smooth plastic, but it might be slightly rubberized, as it does feel soft. The back is the same, but has some slight grooves in it, and the sides of the front are smooth, feeling quite rubbery, but maybe plastic too. There's gloss plastic on the side buttons and around the scroll, and overall, everything feels pretty good. I don't think they'll be too slippery, and it should be durable. The cable is 1.8 meters long and braided, and it's thicker than most as it doesn't fit in the Zowie made mouse bungee. And thank you to Logitech again for not folding the cable inside the box. Like the G303, they wrapped it around in circles. It's great to have no kinks in the cable like that, and the cable is very similar to the G303, which a fair few people didn't like due to its size, but it never bothered me. You can use this mouse with the cable or without, and they give you an adapter so that you can plug the wireless in, then just plug it into the mouse when needing to recharge. I leave it on my desk like this. There are 6 mouse feet, 4 large on the corners, 2 small feet around the center, and they glide very smoothly over the pad. Definitely helped by having no wire. Software wise, this mouse can do 200 to 12,000 DPI in increments of 50, which you can cycle through using the DPI buttons. You can set 5 per profile, and there are also 5 profiles. Buttons can be reassigned to the usual mouse functions plus media, G-shift, profile, battery level, keystrokes or shortcuts, or a multi-key macro. One viewer requested that Logitech allow us to bind scroll up and down to other functions, as that's not available in this. There are LEDs on the back for the logo and also showing the DPI setting. You can't add your own color options, but they do allow for a smooth cycling rainbow. According to the software, the battery life is greatly affected by the LEDs. If you leave them in breathing mode, it can last a few hours longer. If you turn them off completely, they will last even longer again. And it has a sleep mode, so if it's not in use, it will start to save on battery. At 8%, it displays a warning on screen, and a DPI light will start blinking, as you would have seen throughout this review. I wanted to use up the battery, so I could do a full recharge. Going from 6% with all lights in the RGB cycling mode, it says it would have 1 hour left, and using it casually in Windows as it recharged, it took 2 hours and 10 minutes to get back up to 100%. And that charge could last a weekend of gaming or a week of general use. With a lot of gaming and RGB lights on, one charge lasted about 3 days for me. Next is surface tuning, but I only did this out of curiosity. It was tracking fine even without it. Now for a personal opinion, can I aim with it? The answer is yes, but not as well as my top mice. In the 3 main aim styles, I found it was great for projectile and sniper weapons, but I struggled a little with tracking. This is most likely due to the weight and shape, or possibly just needing more time with it. But surprisingly, I don't think this was from any delay from the wireless. The wireless really is outstanding. If the weight and shape suited me, I would be comfortable using it in competitions or in serious play in first-person shooters. And that's saying a lot. Like the G502, this mouse is a lot of fun to own. But unlike the G502, I can actually play very well with it. This is a whole other level to the G502. And in my opinion, I'd pay the extra to get this instead. Save up, it's worth it. I'd recommend this mouse for all game types and all players that like the shape and weight, even MMO players who don't need more than 11 buttons. It's worth the price because of how much you get, and I think we should support this direction Logitech are taking. This is by far the best all-around mouse I've ever used. So final thought, amazing mouse, very impressed, and would land at number 8 in my personal top 20, which is surprising considering the shape and that it's wireless. Hope that helps. If you want to support the channel, you can buy this mouse using the Amazon links for overseas, or go to mwave.com.au for Australia. I'll leave them in the description. And if you want recommendations, please visit my website and use the search. On a personal note, I write novels, so if you want to read a book series about World War IV, head to theheroesfall.com. The first one is sometimes free to download from smashwords.com. So thank you for the support as always, like this video, and I'll catch you in the next.
Blue wins the round. Mid-air.